안녕하십니까. 진짜 오래간만인 것 같습니다. 제가 무슨 전문 유튜버가 아니다 보니까 이렇게 주기적으로 올리는 그런 여건이 또 아이됩니다. 그래서 뭐 이렇게 이럭저럭 지내다가 요즘 유튜브에서 영상 하나 봤는데 미국에서 온 여자가 연변에 한 6개월 동안 있으면서 이것저것 경험하고 뭐 문화도 즐기고 우리 음식도 맛있게 먹는 그런 영상을 하나 올렸는데 너무 미국에서 살고 있는 저로서는 너무 약간 뭐라고 할까 새롭고 신기하고 약간 기특하기도 했던 것 같습니다. 그래서 이런 간단한 리뷰 영상을 만들게 됐는데 한번 같이 보시죠.
So throughout the rest of this video, you might see that a lot of the signs here in Yanbian are written in both Korean and Chinese. And basically that's because Yanbian is the Korean Autonomous Prefecture here in China. So what does that exactly mean? Well, basically, in China there are 56 officially recognized ethnicities, and the Koreans, or the Chaosianzu, are one of the officially recognized minorities. So one of the first things that they did after founding the Korean Autonomous Prefecture in 1949 was enforcing the Shuangyu Zhengce, or the bilingual policy. So that's why everywhere that you see, all of the official signage has to be written in both Korean and Chinese to make sure that the whole area is fully accessible to Chaosianzu and other ethnicities that live here. This Shuangyu Zhengce has had a huge impact on the preservation of authentic Chaosianzu culture here in China. So what you can see behind me is an example of Guangchangwu, or square dancing, which is something that people do here in China all the time, and Yanbian is definitely no exception. So pretty much any time that you go somewhere with any flat space, whether it be a park, a parking lot, or like a large sidewalk in front of a mall, there will be people dancing in front of it. So this is actually a pretty small gathering. Earlier today, there were several dozen, maybe even hundreds of people dancing here in this very spot. Unfortunately, I guess they danced themselves a little bit tired, so a lot of them went home. But we can still partake in the festivities, even though it's starting to get towards the evening time. So that was actually a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. All that dancing really made me work up an appetite. Fortunately for me, Yanji, although one of the smaller cities in China, has plenty of culinary options. From Seoul-style cafes, North Korean restaurants, and plenty in Japanese and Chinese options. However, today we're going to be focusing on exclusively Joseonjuk specialties. These include gwem, known in South Korea as 양꼬치 or lamb meat skewers, goshintang, which is dog meat soup, and Pyongyang-style naengmyeon noodles. Alright, let's go! So you might have heard of Sinchon in Seoul, which is kind of like the cool, hip college area. And Yeongnyeol kind of has its own version of Sinchon, and that's called Daeangno, which is where we're sitting right now. So behind me is Yeongngyeol's very own Yeondae. However, it is not Yeonsei Daehakyo, but Yeonbyeon Daehakyo. And this is one of the first universities especially made for ethnic minorities here in China. So because of this university, in theory, a Joseonjuk person can go all the way from kindergarten through their PhD, taking classes only in their ethnic language, which is Joseongo or Korean. However, these days, most of the classes taught at Yeonbyeon Daehakyo are actually taught in Chinese, except for the Korean literature and language major. And because a lot of ethnic Joseonjuks have improved their Chinese ability, there's been a lot more interaction between the ethnic Han and the ethnic Joseonjuks.
어떻게 잘 봤는지 모르겠습니다. 근데 미국에서 한 10년 살다 보니까 이 아시안이란 이런 인종은 미국에서 아무튼 이게 서방 국가다 보니까 이 중심에서 약간 멀어져 있는 그런 인종이란 말인데, 그래가지고 약간 미국에 사는 아시안 뭐 LA나 뭐 뉴욕 그런 한인타운 그런 데서 아니면 뭐 차이나타운에서 사는 사람이 아닌 이상 그래도 자기가 이 중심에서 많이 멀어져 있다는 것을 아마 느끼고 살 거라고 생각하는데, 그렇게 쭉 오래 살다 보니까 이런 영상 보니까 하여튼 감회가 새로운 게 있긴 있었습니다. 뭐 그래서 이렇게 간단한 리뷰를 올렸는데 뭐 재밌게 봤으면 좋겠고, 이번 리뷰는 여기까지 하겠습니다.